It can be tough to write a dialogue for a video game. It can also be tough to translate dialogue from another language. So what happens when you combine bad dialogue and bad translations? Well, you get some pretty hilarious subtitles in video games. What's up, guys? Jimmy here. Welcome to Chaos Top 10s, and today we're going to be taking a look at and counting down 10 video games with hilarious subtitle mess-ups, okay? We are running a $200 Amazon gift card giveaway the entire month. All you have to do to enter is like this video, be subscribed, turn on your notifications, and leave a comment why you want to win it with your Twitter handle attached. I will announce the winner at the end of the month on Twitter. Be sure to take advantage of the giveaway, guys. Drop a like on the video really quick and make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications. You don't ever want to miss a top 10, and we put up a brand new gaming top 10 every single night. Now, let's go over some really funny subtitle fails in video games. Kicking off our list today at number 10, we have the game known as Zero Wing. Released all the way back in 1989 for the arcades, Zero Wing is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up with a sci-fi theme. The game became famous for its line, "All your base are belong to us." But there are plenty of others to go along with this, including "You are on the way to destruction," "Somebody set up us the bomb," and my personal favorite, "Take off every zig." Zero Wing is said to be one of the first internet gaming sensations due to how terrible the translations are, and honestly, it's a perfect way to kick off this list. And you just wonder, when somebody's doing the translating, the dialogue, the subtitles, do you not spell check? I mean, come on. At number 9, X-Men Arcade. Aside from being not a great game, this side-scrolling beat-em-up starring the iconic X-Men had some awful dialogue, especially from your boy Magneto. This one isn't much of a subtitle screw-up since the game didn't really have subtitles, but it just has to make the list due to how atrocious the lines are. With lines like, are you ready? "Welcome to die," or "I am master of magnet," "X-Chicken, you are dead, and Magneto is over there." How can you not give a shout out on a list like this to a game with some really bad lines? At number 8, we have a Japanese rail shooter pretty cool game, Aero Fighters, ton of fun, but for whatever reason is ridden with translation errors in the English versions. The first game debuted all the way back in 1992 in the arcades, and there have been plenty of ports for it since its release because it was very popular, and it had a sequel in 1994. One of the most famous mistranslations comes from the original game, where the main character was having a bit of an identity crisis and said to himself, "A mechanical body is useful, but a live body is best." Yes? Then in Aero Fighters 2, we were introduced to a dolphin wearing a pilot's helmet who told the player, "I never thought I'd be flying over a jungle before level 4. If you want a good laugh and you want some fun rail shooter gameplay mixed in with it, you should probably check out any of the Aero Fighters games. They have plenty of fails in them, but it's always good when you have a game that fails, but the game is still fun. We have a lot of older games on here because I guess people check them a little better now, but that's not to say that there aren't plenty of mistakes in your modern games as well, but we're going to stick in the 90s. At number 7, The Art of Fighting. First released in the arcades in 1992, The Art of Fighting is a fighting game that is actually called Fist of Dragon and Tiger in Japan. It's a way cooler name if you ask me than Art of Fighting, but to each his own. I'm not sure how you go from that super awesome title like that to Art of Fighting, but when you look at some of the mistranslations in the game, I think the mystery becomes a little more clear. Perhaps the most famous comes from one of the characters proclaiming, "I am woman, feel my kick and moan." Okay, not sure why you're bringing your kick and moan into a fight, but to each their own, I guess. I would think, "I am woman, hear me roar," not "I am woman, feel my kick and moan." Who comes up with this stuff? Seriously, it's laughable, but then it's also kind of sad. At number 6, one of the most classic games. If you've never played this, go find a port. Go find it on some Flash something. I don't know, but play the game. Ikari Warriors. The arcade game was released in 1986 and featured fun, vertically side-scrolling gameplay with a ton of guns and explosions. Very fast-paced game. Once you manage to burn through all of your quarters, though, and you reach the end of the game, General Kawasaki, that's right, General Kawasaki, send you a message to thank you for all of your bravery and your good deeds. What does the message say, you may ask? Well, it reads, you have accomplished the mission. You are the very prevailer that protect right and justice. I would express my sincere thanks to you. Take good rest. I'm the very prevailer. Well, thank you, General Motorcycle Kawasaki. I truly, truly appreciate that. And maybe I should do a top 10 most just unrewarding endings in video games, because this one would be right up there. Cracking into the top 5 today, and I don't have a lot of words for you guys for this, so I just want you to take a look. Zelda 2, Adventure of Link. There's not really much to say about it, so I'm just going to let you guys look at it for a second, and then we're going to move on to number 4. At number 4, and it just sucks that the word Ghostbusters has such a bad rap right now, because the originals were absolutely amazing. Before the awful 2016 game and before the awful Sanctum of Slime game from 2011, there was an almost equally awful Ghostbusters video game for the original NES. The game is simple, it's straightforward, so at least we'll give it credit for being competent when compared to other Ghostbusters games out there. But it's still pretty bad. What made the game famous is its horrible end screen. If you manage to force your way through this entire game, you will be treated to a screen reading, congratulation? I can't even say it right. You have completed a great game and proved the justice of our culture. Now go and rest our heroes. Keep in mind, this wasn't a translated Japanese game. This was an American-made game, meaning that they can't blame the translation process for the horrible spelling that went on with this. How do you make a game that goes out to thousands, tens of thousands, millions of people and not get your sentences properly? I don't get it. At number 3, speaking of terrible end screens, next up on the list we have Ghosts 'n Goblins. Old school game right here if you've ever played. It's a classic side scroller, but much like Ghostbusters, getting the end screen doesn't exactly make you feel like a champ once you read it. Aside from being an insanely hard task to even get to the end of this game was hard. Once you finally get there, you want to be rewarded, right? Nope. You have another real read, congratulations. The story is happy end, thank you. So you make me grind for hours and hours, days and days, play one of the hardest side scrollers ever made in gaming history, and this is the reward that I get. That, my friends, it's not only lackluster, it kind of pisses me off. Speaking of side-scrolling games, at number 2, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, one of the best arcade beat-em-ups ever made. The original Ninja Turtles debuted in the arcades in '89. It was critically acclaimed for its fighting, its visuals, its humor, and let's just face it, it's all-around awesomeness. The game doesn't really have many mistranslations or typos due to there not being a ton of dialogue, but if you've ever made it to the end of this classic, you'll probably know why it's on this list. Upon beating the final boss, you're treated to an epilogue that reads, "Freaked the Foots, mangled the Mousers, and totaled the Technodrome." That's turtle power. But what about the Shredder and Krang? Burned to toast, vaporized to milkshake, or escape to Dimension X? Until we know, none of us can sleep safely in our beds or shells. Honestly, I don't even know where to start with this one, to be honest with you guys, aside from all the misspellings. And what does vaporized to milkshake even mean? And what's with all the weird punctuations? It's just, whoever wrote this end screen was honestly trolling. And finally, at number 1 today on our list is Metal Gear. This game kicked off one of the most legendary and influential franchises in gaming history. There's no arguing that. And the first game is obviously much simpler than those that follow, but it's still pretty advanced for its time. Unfortunately, much of the seriousness is lost in the English version due to the amount of mistranslations and great laughs you'll get from them, with the most famous of them being when a guard wakes up and screams, "I feel asleep." Some other good ones include one of your mission briefings telling you to attempt to contact our missing gray fox. The original Metal Gear is a great game, led to a fantastic franchise, like I said, but the typos and mistranslations are too good to not put as the number 1 on our list today. There you have it, my friends. Those are 10 hilarious subtitle fails in video games. Let me know some other ones. These are earlier video games. We could do one with more modern video games if you guys want. There's a playlist below if you want to check out all the other top 10s that go up on the channel. And thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button on your way out, and I'll see you tomorrow for a brand new video.